Hey, this is Carrie Jordan from the Rise Collective, and today I'm talking about archetypes. When we understand the degree to which a certain archetype lives inside of us, it helps us to identify the patterns that we live in our work and our lives. This helps us understand ourselves better, and it helps us to identify our patterns so that we can make new patterns. This work is really important in becoming a healthy, spiritual, initiated adult who can take responsibility for herself or himself, and who can parent, and who can also be in service to the community as an elder. Okay, so let's dive in and talk about archetypes. Archetypes are ancient patterns of human consciousness that are ingrained in us rather than something that we develop. So we can think of them as archetypes are psychological patterns that are ingrained in us as human beings. And usually they come from very far back in our line from mythological stories and such. There are 4 ancient and universal archetypes that we all share as humans. And each archetype has light and shadow parts. Though all of the archetypes have light and shadow aspects, they all have ways in which we might really appreciate them and things that they may do to undermine us in various areas of our lives. And to get to know those archetypes and those, I think of them as like companions or people that are always with me as I get to know like my little girl, as I get to know my saboteur. I'm able to work with them and hear them when they're asking for my attention. For example, when I may be doing something that I don't want to be doing, it's unconscious, but when I recognize that it's happening, then I can kind of reroute and figure out how I can work in concert with my little girl or my saboteur so that I can know, I can really have choice around what I'm doing instead of doing it unconsciously. So let's talk about the 4 archetypes that we all share. They are the child, the saboteur, the victim, and the prostitute. Now, I am going to be creating a whole series about the archetypes and how we can work with them in our lives. And right now, you can go to the bottom of the description and go download the workbook that I created for you. Okay, so let's get into these 4 archetypes. The child really shows us where we're dependent and where we are taking responsibility for our lives. When we're in our child archetype, we might be leading with our little girl or a little boy. And as an adult, as a healthy, spiritual, initiated adult, we don't really want to be leading with our child. We'd rather be leading with the adult, and the child is still by our side next to us, telling us what's going on for him or her. Like sometimes my little girl occurs as telling me, hey, like pulling on my dress, last time that this happened, we got really hurt. And as an adult, I get to recognize that that's happening, and I get to kind of pet her hair and say, thank you. I hear you. Yeah, last time we got hurt, and this time it's different. The next archetype is the victim. The victim is really into blaming others. And so the victim also helps us really identify where are we taking responsibility, where are we empowered adults, and where are we blaming other people or circumstances for what's going on in our lives. Whereas as healthy spiritual adults, we can take action. We can take responsibility for where we are in our lives, and we can change our destiny. Okay, one of my favorite archetypes is the saboteur. The saboteur really helps us to learn how we are betraying ourselves. It's really about betrayal. Where are you betraying yourself in your work, in your life? Where are you disempowering yourself? So this is a really fun one to work with. And finally, the archetype of the prostitute helps us to see where we are selling out. Where are we selling our integrity or our spirit for financial gain or for the purpose of survival? Where are we not aligning with what we really truly believe and what our ethics and our moral compass is telling us? When are we ignoring it? That's what the prostitute helps us to figure out. So now you've learned about the 4 main archetypes that we all share as human beings, and you may have your very own archetypes that you can name within your psyche and your soul. So I invite you to play with that. Now that you know the basics, how would you like a workbook that would help you to really dive into your patterns and your relationship with your archetypes? Well, I've made that for you. So scroll down to the description and click the link to download your workbook. Finally, if you liked this video, click the like button, share it with your friends, and subscribe to my channel because I post new videos every Thursday. I'll see you next time.